Hi guys, my name's Cameron Lee and this is Mike Laidlaw, and welcome. Thank you for joining us again. I think last time we did this was a couple of weeks ago. I know you did another one. Yeah.
You and me.
Well, that's the only one.
That's the one that counted, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's right. Welcome to my office again. We did this because we have room for the keyboard and mouse, which we're going to be showing today with the PC gameplay. And Mike's going to be driving, actually.
In fact, we're celebrating the end of PC Week because it's still a holiday here in Canada. It is, in fact, Canadian Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Which is like the other Thanksgiving with less Super Bowls.
See, I don't understand why there's two different Thanksgivings.
Well,
did they travel?
Because of October. Because of October.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
Canadians, man, we're different.
Yeah, you are different.
We're not just America Light.
Okay, so we're going to be showing a couple of things today. We're going to show some conversations with the Inquisition specialists, which is the people who help you lead the Inquisition.
So fair warning, there's going to be some minor spoilers. Spoilers there.
Yep.
I almost said spory.
Spory?
Spory! Yeah, that's not a word. So they will be... they'll be talking a little bit about an early phase of the game. It won't be too spoilery, but if you were interested in how the people that keep the Inquisition running kind of behind the scenes work, and we're going to look at the war table, which is going to be pretty rad. We haven't really shown much of that at all, and we'll give you a sense of how that plays out and how it interacts with your story and some of the choices you've made.
Yep.
Again, early, so not too spoilery, but, fair warning.
Yep. So we're going to show that, and then we're going to jump into one of your saves, Mike, in the Emerald Graves.
Yep.
So there was some footage of the Emerald Graves out there last week, I think, but this is going to be our playthrough with our save. So it's a different save. So we can show a bit of the tactical camera, and we are going to show something pretty cool, which we haven't shown before. Do you want to tell them what it is?
Yeah, I think we should. I think we should. So with my character, this is the one I've been kind of doing as my latest playthrough. I went through, and in Inquisition, you have specializations you can earn, kind of advanced classes, and you do get to pick one. I decided to go for Knight Enchanter. And I know a lot of people have been kind of like, how does that play? What's it like? So we'll actually show you this time. Give you a sense of it. Exactly.
Now, I want to cover off quickly before we get started the PC specs. So this is not what I'm running here. My PC is a bit shitter. So I shouldn't swear on Twitch, but anyway. So PC
That's
recommended...
all people do on Twitch.
I know.
You go ahead.
I know. So recommended specs, Windows 7 or 8.1 64-bit. From a CPU perspective, AMD 6-core CPU, 3.2 or Intel quad-core 3. 8 gig RAM, graphics card, so AMD definitely would be really cool. AMD for Dragon Age Inquisition supports Mantle, and for PC users, obviously 4K as well. Yeah. So we do support 4K.
Well, via Mantle is my understanding.
Right. Yeah.
So if you want to go to super high res, we got you covered.
Yeah.
I've seen actually people have asked me that directly, so I'm glad we're getting that out there.
Absolutely. Hard drive space, 26 gig, DirectX 11, min specs. You can probably check those out on the website. There's a couple other things. Let's see, I've got a list here. So we're doing some giveaways as well. So Origin Insider, their Facebook page, if you jump on that, I think they're giving away an AMD card, a 290X.
I think so, yeah. And there's another one being offered as well. If you hop onto the Dragon Age Twitter, @DragonAge, there's another AMD card being given away, another R90X. I think this one's the Sapphire.
Yep.
So you can follow both of those details on those pages. Cameron and I honestly don't know them. Yeah, we've been setting this thing up.
We just make games.
We make game good.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully you guys can track that down. I think they're running the contest, well, right now anyway, so track it down and see what you can find out.
Okay.
Of course, one minor disclaimer just before we jump in. This is still in progress. We are in the finaling stages. We're almost done this thing, but there may be a few bugs. It's still incomplete software. We're going to do our best to make it, as good as we can. As well, so Patrick, have we got keyboard cam?
We can switch over to keyboard.
We have keyboard cam. We're just going to show you that I am in fact using a mouse and keyboard, and occasionally, for veracity purposes, we will switch back and forth to that.
And even got the glorious view that includes both.
Right.
So
there you go.
Mouse and keyboard and scar tissue. I grew up on a farm, so my hands are kind of fucked up in places. Every once in a while, the grinder kicks back and just goes zerp right up there. That was a good one.
They don't care. They just want to see the game. Let's go.
No, let's talk about my hands some more. All right. First off, let's dig in. We're gonna go to. let's dig in and take a look at the war table. So a little bit of story, a little bit of sense of interactions with those characters. Now the specialists, that's what we generally have referred to them internally. You may call them whatever you want, your ambassador, your spy master, and your general. In order, that's Josephine, Liliana, and Cullen. This is kind of when you meet them.
That's right. Yeah, this is a little bit after the prologue, when you're coming in and you meet Cassandra and you talk to Cassandra a little bit, and you go into the war table for the first time, and they talk about the current state of affairs.
Yeah, we won't spoil too much, but we'll
hopefully not. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So as you guys can see, we've got our PC UI up and running here. We'll go into some more details on that mini map down here. Obviously, mouse look, all that fun stuff. We're going to kick things off though by right-clicking.
Yeah, I think we won't talk actually, because people don't like us talking when other characters are talking.
All too fair.
Careful with the table as well, guys. It's making a lot of booms into the microphone.
All right, can you get rid of that keyboard shot?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Does it trouble you?
Now we can probably talk here. This gives us a look at the reaction wheel. So in the course of regular dialogue, your wheel would have no major icons. There's just kind of a generic choice icon that appears in the middle. However, when you're giving an answer that's more emotional, that you want to say, I'm good, I'm angry, I'm stoic, I'm confused, or I'm sad.
Yes. Now there is an option to turn those off as well.
You can, absolutely, yeah. All versions of the game, you can say, I don't want any icons. I just want to play with just the paraphrases. As well, for PC, you'll notice numbers. If I want to just quick key to make a selection, I can do so. Let's be tough, Lady Elf.
Not really.
What's important is that your mark is now stable, as is the breach. You've given us time. And Solas believes a second attempt might succeed, provided the mark has more power. The same level of power used to open the breach in the first place. That is not easy to come by.
What harm could there be in powering up something we barely understand?
Hold on to that sense of humor. May I present Commander Cullen, leader of the Inquisition's forces.
Such as they are. We lost many soldiers in the valley, and I fear many more before this is through.
This is Lady Josephine Montelier, our ambassador and chief diplomat.
Anderan Atishan. You speak Elven?
You've just heard the entirety of it, I'm afraid.
And of course you know Sister Liliana.
My position here involves a degree of...
She is our spy master.
Yes, tactfully put, Cassandra.
I don't know about you, Cam, but I could almost hear the squee when Cullen
I was just thinking about Cullen and everyone,
So here, as I said, more generic icons. So again, not really conveying an emotion, more just a chance to discuss.
Yeah.
Pleased to meet you all.
I mentioned that your mark needs more power to close the breach for good.
Which means we must approach the rebel mages for help.
And I still disagree. The Templars could serve just as well.
We need power, Commander. Enough magic poured into that mark.
Might destroy us all. Templars could suppress the breach, weaken it, so...
Pure speculation.
I was a Templar. I know what they're capable of.
Unfortunately, neither group will even speak to us yet. The Chantry has denounced the Inquisition, and you specifically.
Ooh, denounced by the Chantry.
Yeah.
Politics.
I know, right?
Politics.
So what are we going to pick?
I don't know. Cameron, your call. I've been picking.
Well, does it really matter?
Doesn't matter. Let's find out.
Can't you simply ignore them?
If only that were possible. Some are calling you, a Dalish elf, the Herald of Andraste. That frightens the Chantry. The remaining clerics have declared it blasphemy, and we, heretics, for harboring you.
Chancellor Roderick's doing, no
There's
doubt.
some mad love from the
It
community
limits
for
our
all
options.
of our characters.
Approaching the Mages
Well,
or
that's nice,
Templars for help is currently out of the question.
So this one I want to pursue. We've done investigates before,
Yep.
being able to dig in. The question mark gives you a chance to kind of explore a concept a little further.
Just how am I the Herald of Andraste?
People saw what you did at the temple, how you stopped the breach from growing. They have also heard about the woman seen in the rift when we first found you. They believe that was Andraste.
Even if we tried to stop that view from spreading.
Which we have not.
The point is, everyone is talking about you.
It's quite the title, isn't it? How do you feel about that?
Now this one I wanted to hit specifically because we haven't talked about it in a while, but some folks were asking us, well, what if I'm an elf? What if I'm a Canary? I don't want to be a herald of anything. Yeah. And here's the thing.
So before you do that,
we wanted to give you a chance to respond to that.
Exactly, and I think it's worth noting that we get the question a lot about Dragon Age Origins had the origin stories, right?
Yep.
But what that did is it front loaded a lot of that race and specific content right at the beginning, and it didn't leave a lot of room throughout the rest of the game. So what we did in Inquisition was we spread that content out over the course of the entire game, so it's more meaningful for the whole campaign, the whole story, your whole experience in the world.
Yeah, absolutely, and having it keep coming up. And so this is as well another thing the writing team made kind of a personal goal is they wanted to have more moments where characters kind of stopped and looked at you and said, so how do you feel?
Yeah.
What do you think? So, supposing you're playing through as a Dalish elf, you're probably not super into the Chantry right now, and you're going to say, well, I'm not the herald of anything.
I'm no herald of anything, particularly not Andraste.
I'm sure the Chantry would agree.
People are desperate for a sign of hope. For some, you're that sign.
And to others, a symbol of everything that's gone wrong. Will the Chantry attack us?
With what? They have only words at their disposal.
And yet, they may bury us with them. There is something you can do. A Chantry cleric by the name of Mother Giselle has asked to speak to you. She is not far, and knows those involved far better than I. Her assistance could be invaluable.
Now, for those of you who are wondering, how the heck do we end up going to the Hinterlands? Well,
yeah,
this is why.
Yeah.
I'll see what she has to say.
You will find Mother Giselle tending to the wounded in the hinterlands near Redcliffe.
Look for other opportunities to expand the Inquisition's influence while you're there.
We need agents to extend our reach beyond this valley, and you're better suited than anyone to recruit them.
In the meantime, let's think of other options. I won't leave this all to the Herald.
The war table.
The war table.
So the war table is the means by which you direct your Inquisition forces throughout the world. So you lead this big, powerful organization which you build up over time using the war table. So there's two countries, Ferelden and Olay. And in this case, this is the first time, obviously, that the player would experience the war table. So there's just one option on here, but we might jump in.
We'll show a little more.
We'll show a little bit more. But Mike, do you want to show us like how you would actually sort of navigate around the war table a little bit?
Absolutely. So the war table, when you make your choice of country, takes you into kind of a focus area in that country. You'd be driving a cursor around if you're playing on console, but of course mouse users, boop, 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 mouse. Very easy. You don't have to make the boop sound. I just like doing it. So this at this point is basically the war table tutorial, how it looks. Fun note, upper right corner, that box there, that's the Inquisitor Edition box.
Oh, is
That's
it
what
really?
It looks like. Yeah, if you actually have pre-ordered the Inquisitor's Edition,
right.
sadly sold out due to ridiculous manufacturing. Yes. And if you want to hear Mark Dara go crazy,
oh my god, it's just packaging porn.
we were at the Edmonton Expo, and someone asked a packaging question,
and Mark, it was like 15 minutes.
Entered a fugue state for 15 minutes and went off about the Inquisitor Edition. Anyway, back to the game. Anyway, that's the box. So scouting the Hinterlands, when we go through, it'll take you through, give you a sense of what kind of action or adventure is about to occur, and then you make your choice. Now, in this case, we only have our scouts involved in this mission, and you notice it has a power cost of 1.
Yes.
Which is the currency by which the Inquisition grows. Every time you open up a new area, if you pursue a major objective, you spend power, and the war table, as we've said, is how you do that.
That's right, and you earn power by exploring the world, completing quests, closing Fade Rifts, doing things that would strengthen an Inquisition.
Yeah, your reputation, helping people, all these things. So again, when we click in here, we're going to spend this power, confirm the cost, and away we go. Scout outing.
Yeah, so awesome. A little package of murder.
She's so nice too.
Yeah. So this is the village of the Crossroads in Hinterlands.
It's not even really an official village.
No.
Just a place where people have holed up trying to avoid the fighting between mages and Templars. You notice that that's been a pretty major theme of discussion so far, but it's not the only theme that we pursue throughout the game. In fact, it's a fairly early kind of situation. And as we showed at E3, it's one that you're going to eventually bring to a head.
Yes, which is pretty cool. So then you get an after action report, which you can read through as well. And this is indicative of how you would open up all the different exploration areas throughout the game. You know, we've got a number of these really vast areas for you to go and explore, but you do so by sending out your scouts to get a foothold, and then you can sort of travel through. And they're not really, there's a couple that are sort of locked to plots and stuff like that in terms of the timing, but for the most part, you're free to unlock these areas as you will, as long as you have enough power and strength of the Inquisition.
Exactly. So go out and explore the world, play the game, come back, spend power on the war table. But that's not the only thing you can do. So we could immediately go to the Hinterlands. Whenever you unlock a new area, it lets you kind of quick travel there if you want. I'm going to say no. And I'll show you why, because I'm going to show missions. So operations are sending your troops out, spending power. Missions are the time-related things. These are the behind-the-scenes small objectives that are tied to the Inquisition's growth. So, when we come to the war table here, you'll now notice that I don't think it went any open or late.
No, at this point it's mostly in for relevance.
Yeah. So we dig in, and some different options.
I love that Hard and Hightown, Barrack Lovers.
Yeah.
Right on that.
And actually, I'll take a look at 3 different ones. So let's start with one here, gathering coin. So this is not the most intense of missions.
No, but it's a great way to show that you can use your Inquisition to do things for you, right?
Yeah, it can be repeated. You can send people out, and when you have your different specialists, you have Cullen, Lillian, Josephine coordinating your efforts. Each of them requires time. Josephine's actually a little bit better at gathering coins, so she's a little faster than the others. That's kind of her specialty is commerce and trade. However, you may want to use Josephine for another operation another mission. And if
so once you pick one, then they're locked for that time.
They're locked for that time. So this will take an hour. It's going to come back. It's not a huge gain in coins, so this isn't the most optimal thing we can do, but even if you've run out of other stuff, there are some repeatable missions. One of my other favorites is actually gathering resources.
Yes. Now, there is no MTX to speed that up.
No, there isn't.
Like, why the hell could we do that?
No.
So we
don't worry about that.
Guys.
Sure.
We're wondering about subtitles. If they'll be region locked, will you be able to edit them for multiple regions?
What do you mean region locked?
So I imagine that in Germany they were trying to load German subtitles. And it was English.
So I can't speak to the exact specifics on a per SKU basis, per release basis, but you will have your choice of language for subtitles. You will be able to turn them on, turn them off. You can also turn them on so that they are conversation only, not ambient. So there's a bunch of different settings for those. Sorry, I don't know the specifics on exactly how German handles it, but we've done our best to make sure that subtitles are available across the different platforms. So I've seen people play with German subtitles and English VO from one instance.
So there's different icons on the side as well, right? There's the little Inquisition pin, which you just used, right? For gathering coin. And then there's like the diamond ones. Yeah,
these are a completed scout. And again, if you want to see that briefing again, you can absolutely do so, or fast travel to that location again, which can help if you're like, oh, I just wanted to update my things and then go right back out to the field. Here, we have some soldiers missing in Ferelden. Now, for people who followed along Gamescom,
they would notice it. Exactly. So the demo we put together was in the fellow Maya. That's this mission, exactly.
That's where you go, because your soldiers are missing, and the Avar have taken them. And if you arrive on that one, you meet Scout Harding. She says, hey, boss, here's what's going on, and so on. So we can look at this one. It's kind of fun. So many of your companions and followers have their own kind of sense of what they could do. And this one offers a more interesting choice. So Josephine could have a friend in Antiva City. Liliana could send her spies, right? So that one's quite useful. We'll go with Josephine on this one. She requires time. We'll confirm. Now this changes it to be the symbol for the ambassadorial.
Yes, and you can see Josephine's card is then later underneath as well, which is neat. So.
And we'll look at one more. Now this one's kind of fun because it's actually tied to your background.
Okay.
You're an elf, and you'll notice through here that Clan Llewellyn is somewhat concerned because one of the clan is being held captive by the Inquisition, and they're somewhat worried about that.
Okay.
So each of the different races has their own background. If you're a mage, you also have your own background. Or a human mage specifically. So each of those have a series of operations tied to their background as well.
Now there's over 300
There are.
Operations and missions on the war table. You know, and as Mike said, you know, which ones you're going to see of those 300 will differ depending on the types of character you are, what decisions you've been making throughout the game as well.
You cannot see them all in a single playthrough. For instance, the race stuff is a great example. So Josephine's busy. We're going to send out Liliana, and she'll proceed.
Let's see what we have.
All right, so that gives us a nice war table overview.
I loved how Cullen wasn't willing to go to the Hightown.
It's just not his
it's
thing.
Just not his thing,
he has people that punch stuff, right? He doesn't really investigate authors.
Yeah.
There is one of my favorite operations. There's a character who asks for specific help, and it's pretty flippant.
Yep.
And Josephine says, I absolutely could do this. And Liliana says, I suppose I could spend spies. And Cullen's suggested as the advisor is simply, no, this is silly.
Yeah.
He'll do it.
Yeah.
But he does not want to do it.
Yeah. So Inquisition talents.
Yeah,
Let's talk about that.
This is the last thing. So we talked about the Inquisition as a character you level up. And like your character where you gain in talents and buy in the trees, you actually have different options available as you go through and upgrade your Inquisition.
Yep.
You receive perks as the Inquisition grows in power, and each one comes with a set that you can purchase into.
Yep. Now, just stop there. I just want to go back up. So as you scroll down through some of these options, you can see that there's different requirements. So some of them have the requirement to have spent invested in this particular talent tree. Other ones would be like you need to have captured a keep, or you need to have recruited a particular agent into the Inquisition. So they're characters that you meet throughout the world that you can bring in as long as you sort of fulfill their requirements. And so there's a lot of different, again, connections and ways to sort of tailor your Inquisition depending on what you've been doing throughout the world.
Absolutely. And in fact, one of the ways you can get those prerequisites is that there are agents you can recruit.
Yep.
And they're added to that pool. So each agent is like an investment as well, allowing you to dig a little further in. All right. That concludes the administrative adventures of our Elven Warrioress.
That's right. Are we going to go and punch things now?
I think we're going to go punch things.
All right, cool.
All right. Let's see. I'm going to switch over to a different character. Oh, there's a nice handy reminder on how to travel in case you didn't use the quest. Yeah. All right. So we're going to head to the Emerald Graves. Okay. This is a human female mage, knight enchanter. Yes.
That's awesome. So you doing anything for Thanksgiving? As we wait for the
Yeah, the in-laws are in town.
Oh, yes.
The in-laws are in town, so I've got family hanging out.
Turkey.
Yeah, we had dinner last night. It was amazing. Best thing. So the reminder, for those of you who may have just joined us, at the beginning we covered it apparently on the Dragon Age social media Twitter stream, so at Dragon Age.
Yes.
They're giving away a AMD Radeon 290X Sapphire, I think.
Sapphire.
And then as well, you may want to check out the Origin Insider Facebook page.
Yep.
They're also giving a Radeon.
Yes.
We mentioned this earlier, but we're largely focused on PC. We're going to take a look at PC controls right now.
Yep.
Reminder, a couple things. We support Mantle.
Yes.
We just announced that.
4K.
4K is supported via Mantle. Also, you can use Crossfire. I don't think we mentioned that earlier. The dual cards, so you can actually have double AMDs running deep. So today we're playing with mouse and keyboard, and we're back in here. The Emerald Graves starts us out in a area that's fairly notorious because it's where some of the Dalish made their last stand during an exalted march.
All down the stairs.
They died horribly, crushed by the human forces. Humans are pretty oppressive in the Dragon Age world.
Yeah, and now I just want to point out, Mike has a really cool staff that looks like Mickey Mouse, but with a gargantuan ear on the left.
That's well, it's if
it's the Dragon Age version. It's like somewhat realistic, but a little bit weird.
In fact, hey, wait, hold on. We're talking about equipment. Let's talk about equipment for a second. So this absolutely badass trench coat I'm wearing right now.